Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and welcome to the month of September. Today, Wednesday, September 1st. And some of you may know, some of you may not, that September is actually National Self-Improvement Month.
Yeah.
And so we thought here on our channel it would be really fun to kind of do a monthly series of goals, kind of a monthly challenge for Sherri and myself on ways that we want to improve ourselves during this month. And so that is what today's video is going to be all about.
You may notice that we are in a different space than we usually are, and that is because while we were filming this video, we are actually in Boise, Idaho, visiting our friends Justin and Lacey Zachman.
We just figured some of you guys would be watching our video and be like, wait a second, why does the Legg's new studio look just like the Zachmans? Well, we didn't copy them, although we would love to have this space.
Correct.
We're actually in their home, spending time with them, and you guys will see the first of those vlogs coming up on Friday on our next LeggLife video, but we just wanted to let you know why the heck our space looks different. You know, when Sherri and I sat down and started talking about this video, started talking about National Self-Improvement Month, what I expected is that I would have a list of things and Sherri would have a list of things, right? Here's like 4 or 5 things I want to do this month, 4 or 5 things Sherri wants to do, and they wouldn't really overlap. They'd just kind of be our own kind of personal challenges for the month.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened at all, because we made our lists and then we sat down and we realized that our lists basically were the same.
Correct. They were basically identical.
And so we kind of have 4 areas that we want to improve on. And honestly, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, I'm really glad that we have overlap, because I think that it helps us provide accountability for each other in how we're doing.
Yep.
But it's also easier when you're doing something with somebody else.
Yes, it is.
It's just the truth, right? And so we're just going to jump into these 4 areas.
Yeah.
Area number 1 is around the issue of positivity.
It's no surprise to anybody that the world is kind of a negative place right now. Naturally, I tend to go negative more than positive. That's not something I like about myself, so I would like to change that, and I think that's just a conscious effort on my part.
So what is like your challenge to yourself? What is your one step you want to do each day to kind of improve self in this month?
What I'm gonna do is make a list in my phone. I'm gonna start like a notes, and I'm just going to list every day something, at least one thing that I'm thankful for about that day, and then keep that whole list going the whole month so I can actually look back and see how many things I have to be thankful for and how many things that are actually really positive things in my life.
I like that, because I think that, I don't know, I think that thankfulness and gratefulness sometimes are muscles that need exercised.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that we don't have things to be thankful for in life. We have an abundance of them.
We have a lot of things. It's just, for me, it's easier to focus on the negative, and I don't want to do that. So I think making myself focus on positive things in my life will help my thinking just go toward the positive then.
Well, plus I like that for a couple of reasons, because now you're kind of going through your days looking for things.
Right.
Right? Your intentional focus is on what's going right or what you have to be thankful for, rather than like what's messed up today and what can I be cynical about today.
Right.
So I like that, but I also like this thing that as the month goes on, your list grows.
Right.
You know, and so like at the end of the month, you have this long list of things.
At least 30. I'm hoping to have more than one thing a day that I'm thankful for or grateful for. And so at least 30 by the end of the month, and hopefully a lot more than that.
So that's Sherri's kind of one step in the area of positivity. My one step has to do with the very way I start my day. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is pick up my phone. And the first place I go normally is social media. The problem is that while social media can be great and encouraging and wonderful, no surprise to anyone, it also cannot be those things.
What?
Shocking, I know. And so for me, I've decided that before I open any social media apps, before I jump into the bad news, I want to jump into something that is like good news. And so for me personally, that might be even before I'm out of bed, like spending time in like some kind of scripture, right? Some kind of Bible verse or some area that I'm studying. It might be, there's a website out there that is just like good news stories, right? It's just stories of like positive and encouraging things that are happening in the world. Maybe it's reading those. But I have found that sometimes before I get out of bed, I've ruined my day because I'm already depressed.
Because there's negative headlines, or there's a news story, or there's just negative people on your news feed or whatever.
Yeah, and so like I've spent 30 minutes in negativity before I've even let my feet hit the ground.
Right.
It's like, what a terrible way to start the day.
Yeah.
Yet that's what I normally do. And so for me, in my area of positivity, before I even get out of bed, I want to focus on things that are life-giving, not life-taking.
Yeah.
And so that's my challenge to myself this month. So we each had kind of this positivity feeling, and I think that...
But different ways to approach it, which
different ways
is also interesting.
And I think that that's the kind of thing that, you know, as we started talking about this and as we brought our ideas to each other, it's just the world is heavy and we want an area of self-improvement that helps combat that.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing in the area of positivity.
Yeah. The next area kind of has to do with physical health. As you guys know, we've been on a health journey for a couple of years.
Yep.
You know, the beginning of this year was quite the health journey for me. And really one of the things that I think helped a lot was our keto diet.
Yep. So we both want to go back on keto, and actually, as you guys are watching this September 1st, we are back on keto.
Yep.
We took the summer off for a lot of reasons. One, we had friends visiting.
We had a lot of guests this summer. We had a lot of travel this summer.
Yep.
And it's just harder. And you know, there's fun places you want to take people that
Totally.
are not keto. And it's harder to, you know, eat out of your hotel room, specifically keto, all the time.
For me, I actually find keto pretty easy when you travel. I just want to drink beer and eat pizza with friends. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just the reality of it. Like,
That's
like
not keto though.
No, it's not keto, but I wanted to be able to enjoy them and enjoy life. And so we decided to take this summer off from keto, but we're both really feeling like we want to get back to it.
Yes.
Because we've tried a lot of diets.
All of the diets.
All of them. And for us, the thing that has worked best, hands down, there's not even a close second,
Right.
has been keto. And it's worked the best not just in the results that we've seen, not just in the fact that we have lost a lot of weight on keto. It's worked the best in the way that we feel.
I actually just feel better. And it's the easiest diet we've ever done.
I agree.
It's the easiest to stick to. It's the easiest to find recipes for, I think.
Yeah.
It's the easiest to like replace things. Like it's easy.
It was also really
for
encouraging to us this year, as Sherri went through her health journey,
Yeah.
just Sherri's doctor being such a huge encouragement for us.
Every time I
in
saw
keto.
her, she was just like, keep sticking to keto. It's doing great. You're doing great. Like it's such a good diet. Like you really, she was like, the entire world needs to be on keto.
Yeah, and so, yeah, so we absolutely love the fact that we have like our doctor's support and encouragement in that.
Yes.
So we're excited to get back to keto. We're excited to try new recipes, go back to some of our old keto favorite recipes. And that is our plan, again, as you guys are watching this video, back on keto. Now here's the thing. Keto for us sometimes could just mean low carb. So
Right.
Keto for us sometimes could mean, you know what? We're with friends, or we're traveling, or we just want to give ourselves a mental health break and I'm gonna eat a cupcake, gosh darn it.
I mean, my birthday is gonna fall
Sherri's birthday falls in the
in
middle of
6
this.
weeks.
And so the reality is that we feel like we have the flexibility to both take steps to live a healthy life, but also to have the freedom to enjoy all of life, which sometimes
Yes.
involves carbs and pastas and beers and other things.
Yes, correct.
Right? So that's what we're doing. Keto is the number 2 self-improvement thing we are doing
Yeah.
this month in September.
Number 3 is actually something that we had just kind of started getting into late April, early May, and we kind of did it throughout most of May, and then summer hit and guests came and things happened and it went away.
Yep.
It's yoga.
Yeah, yoga is one of those things. This is another thing that came out of Sherri's kind of health crisis earlier this year.
Yep.
There's a lot of exercise that actually does more harm than good for Sherri,
Yes.
because of just like lots of different health things. And so yoga was the first thing. Yoga was recommended by one of Sherri's doctors. As we started doing it, I think you were just like, oh, wait a second, this actually
works. And you know, I had done some yoga here and there, and I've always just kind of been fascinated by it, but I had never really just like really gotten into it, and it helps physically. It's a very low impact exercise, and you know, a lot of exercise is high impact, and I hurt more at the end of the exercising than before. So yoga I feel better physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Like all of the things. It just really, really helps everything.
We also found a YouTube channel called Sleepy Santosha Yoga, and she has yoga for basically her whole program for chronic illnesses. And so for Sherri, it's absolutely perfect.
It's wonderful, and she has like alternatives. She's like, if you can't do this pose, do it this way. Like, and you know, if you have this kind of chronic illness, don't do this, do this. Like, it's so great.
And so for you kind of feel like you have this like digital guide. You have this person who's like coaching you, who actually understands kind of some of the unique stuff you're dealing with.
Yes.
So for me, yoga actually is less about the physical and more about the mental. Like when I get done with yoga, I do feel like I had a workout, but in a different way than I've ever had before. I think for me, the thing that I like about it is sort of the peace of it. Yoga to me is as much for my mental health as like physical health, because I just sort of, it's like stopping and breathing and focusing on that kind of stuff. And so to me, that's what I love about it, is I love the way I feel mentally and physically when we get done. And so that's something in the month of September, especially because I think we're both in this place. You know, this is not unique to this summer. This is every summer for every Alaskan, I'm convinced of it. Summers in Alaska, you know, it's light all the time. There's so much to do. You want to get out and enjoy your state. And so what happens is that by the time September gets here, we're all exhausted.
We've all had 4 hours of sleep collectively.
And so
we're exhausted.
You've gone out and you've done a bunch of stuff, and you kind of been going. You've been like seeing people constantly, and then fall gets here and you're just like, oh. And so for us, yoga, I think, is a part of the it's a part of the pendulum swing back toward a healthier rhythm.
Right, back toward rest.
Whereas the summer has just been like super busy and amazing and unbelievable.
It's been so much fun, but exhausting.
Yeah, it's time for the pendulum to swing back to a healthier normal and healthier rhythm. And I think yoga will help us with that. You
also mentioned something like about the yoga that you enjoy is like the breathing. So the Apple Watch has this Breathe app, and I have gotten a lot of use out of mine. For me, it's 1 minute, and it you know, has you like clear your mind and focus on your breathing, and then it has you breathe in and then out, and it guides you through for 1 minute, and like at the end of that minute, I'm just like, I feel better. Okay, my mind is clearer, like I feel like I can tackle the next task in front of me, and it's 1 minute. And so I want to incorporate more of those throughout my day, and just kind of keep that as like a mental goal for me as well. Well, and you said this earlier, and you said you've talked a lot about this in videos, that you're naturally the kind of person who would go to like stress and cynicism and like worry and anxiety and just, you know what I mean? Like all of it. Like that's naturally where you go. And so it's really helpful to you when you have those prompts to kind of pull you back from that. Right? Well, and I noticed that when I'm stressed or anxious or really tired or whatever, my breathing actually just naturally goes way down, and my watch will actually remind me, you need to breathe. Hey, don't forget to breathe. And so even just kind of like that reminder is really, really helpful. I love that. So yeah, yoga is number 3, and now we're going into number 4. And number 4 is in the area of creativity. Now this one looks different for each of us, but we are both creative people. But what we've found, and this has been true for years, we've seen this happen in each other's lives, that when life gets busy, or when the first thing that always goes is our creativity. Yes, and I think part of that is the easiest thing. It's not any less important, but it feels less important. It can feel like a luxury. It feels like a luxury. It kind of feels like a selfish thing. And when you're really, really just busy and you have like work and you have stuff to do and you have like groceries and whatever, like the creativity kind of goes away because you have all of these other things that have to get done. And so it's the easiest thing to let go of, but I think it's the most detrimental thing to let go of. So in the month of September, what is your kind of step back to creativity? I really want to get back into the creative designing side of Etsy. I really haven't done it since like November of last year. Almost a year. I dabbled a little bit, but I really haven't like sat down and created something. for my Etsy shop in almost a year, and it's just, you know, some of it is I just didn't have the mental capacity to do it when I was so sick. This summer I haven't had the time, and when I did have any downtime, I didn't want to spend the 2 hours I had doing more, which wasn't great because it is still something that's very important to my psyche. So I really want to get back into that. I don't know what that looks like for a launch, but I just want to get back into creating.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's really good that you're not saying, for my creativity, I'm gonna do an Etsy launch, because
it's more work.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, I just need to get back in the process of doing something, right? And I think that sometimes when we're setting goals, that can feel like when we think about goals, you almost feel like I need to have something tangible at the end, right? I need to say, well, if I'm going to focus on my creativity, then here's what I'm going to produce with my creativity. But it's good enough to have a goal that just says, you know what, I'm just going to get started again, and I don't know what that looks like. I'm
just going to open up my Cricut app and like design something.
Yeah.
That's really like what that I think means. Like, I just design something, just go.
Well, I think when you're out of the habit of doing something, it's helpful to just get going again, right? It's helpful to just take one step to say, I'm going to try to do this again. And that's actually kind of where I'm at with mine as well. So I've been spending a lot of my creativity on like client projects and other things, sort of creativity for others, not so much creativity for myself. And so I'm going to get out there, and some of you guys will know my film photography story. A few years ago, when I was on like a road trip, I went and visited a friend of mine in Portland who's a film photographer, and we were talking about film photography, and I realized that everything I have in my life as far as a creative project is instant gratification. So I can sit down and I can design something, or I can build something, or I can, you know what I mean, I can create something, and there's like this instant gratification that almost like takes the joy of creativity out of it, because I'm so focused on this end product I'm producing that I don't enjoy the creating of it.
Right.
And so
the process of it.
Yeah, and so my friend, who is similar to me, asked if I would ever consider getting into film photography, and which seemed odd because that just seems so like old school. But the more we talked about it, the more I thought about it, the more I thought this could be really great for me, because in film photography, you make an image, you create an image, but there is no way for you to know how your final product is.
Right.
When I take my like an iPhone out there, I'm doing iPhone photography, or even like one of our digital cameras, I can look at the back of the screen and I instantly know whether I did good or I did bad.
Delete or like keep.
That's right. It's still all about that product, the end product. When I take a photo on a film camera, I don't know for like a week plus, because I have to go through the whole roll, then I have to mail that roll off to a dark room and it's out of state, and then they mail me back my print. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way for me to know, and so it's not about the end product, it's all about the creating of it.
Right.
And so for me, that's what I miss. And so in the month of September, I just want to load a couple rolls of film in my cameras, and I just want to go out and I just want to take some pictures and have no idea whether they turned out.
Yeah.
Kind of like that step back into kind of creating something rather than producing a product.
Yeah.
So you guys, those are the 4 areas.
Yeah.
The area of positivity for us, the area of keto, the area of yoga, and the area of creativity.
Yeah.
So we're putting this out there for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're putting this out there because I think it helps us stay accountable with each other as we walk through this month together, but also with you guys. Right now we've put it out there to
the interwebs.
To the interwebs to keep us accountable. And here's what we're gonna do is at the end of this month, we're gonna give you an update and let you know how we did.
How we did in those 4 areas.
Yep, how we're feeling, areas that we had success in, areas that maybe we didn't have success in. But I really love that we're gonna kind of have this month that is, again, at the end of a busy summer, a month where we're kind of feeling like we need more focus on self.
Yep.
It comes at a perfect time, and so that's what we're gonna do, gosh darn it. Here's what I wanna know from you guys in the comments below. Number one, did you have any idea that September was self-improvement month?
We didn't.
We didn't until we sat down
looked it up.
Looked it up and found it. But then also, are there things in this month of September that you would like to focus on? Are there areas of self-improvement that this month you would like to say, you know what, when I get to the end of September, I would like to have improved in this area? What are those things? Let us know in the comments below, because just as we put this out there to keep us accountable, use the comment section down below if you need a place to post something to help keep you accountable as well. So friends, we love you guys. Thanks for being a part of our community and our journey, and we look forward to sharing all of our progress, all of the results this month of September, as we try to make ourselves a better couple of legs. Is that weird?
A little bit.
A little bit weird? Friends, we love you. We'll see you on the next LeggLife video.